pressure.
I don't feel pressure. Pressure's something somebody else tries to put on you. The only pressure that's worth anything is the pressure you put on yourself.
Pressure sets people apart.
Are you prepared to do whatever it takes to accomplish your goal?
Those that have the ability to thrive under pressure can achieve greatness.
Success is anything that you strive for. You put in the grind, then you grind more. Accomplish your goals, then you find more. And you don't need to rest if you want to be the best. If you want it, don't wait your turn. None of this is given, everything is earned. If you want it, don't wait your turn. None of this is given, everything is earned.
This is when we shine the brightest, is when the pressure's on. And we have to remind the people again that we've been doing it for so long that yes, we're still the best.
The DNA of a true champion allows them to actually perform better when pressure is at its greatest. On Saturday, November 9th, All Elite Wrestling will make their way to Baltimore, Maryland for their first pay-per-view since launching on TNT. Full Gear will be a night surrounded by pressure.
We had to earn everything we got. We earned being here. We earned being in AEW.
Greatness demands everything. Over the next 30 minutes, we will look back at how we got here.
Can you feel this, ladies and gentlemen? Can you feel this? Jericho and Cody. What a war this is going to be.
And where these athletes plan on going.
I've shared rings and locker rooms with Chris for over 10 years, and I know he's the best he's ever been. But this is my run.
Put in the grind, then you grind more. Accomplish your goals, then you find more. And you don't need to rest if you want to be the best. If you want it, don't wait your turn.
Will Kenny Omega be able to seek his revenge on Jon Moxley? Or the Young Bucks, still considered the best tag team in the world today? Will Cody be able to slay the current AEW World Champion, Chris Jericho? Welcome to AEW Countdown, Full Gear.
Proud and powerful.
Straight up and real talk.
Being proud is being who you are, embracing who you are.
Proud of where you come from. Proud of the person that you wake up every morning and you look at in the mirror of.
I embrace making a scene because I'm proud to be that individual. And I'm here with a message for you.
Being proud makes you powerful. That's what it's all about. It's never been about race, religion, gender.
Be proud of your sexuality. Be proud to be the individual. Be proud of your culture.
You see us waving our flags. You see us being proud. You see us being loud. And that's just a part of the whole model. This is much more than just a name. It's a way of life.
Be proud to be Boricua. Be proud to be Latino. And I guarantee you, if you do all those things, you certainly will be powerful.
New York, New York, the birthplace of hip-hop, the mighty New York Yankees, and the streets where you walk with your head up and chest out.
New York City is different. It looks different depending on what borough you're in. And that directly influenced us. The pressure of New York weighed heavy on us. But we took that pressure, we turned it into fuel, and we skyrocketed our careers.
What more can I say? It's straight from the gutter, straight from the soil. It's what keeps us us and what keeps us proud. And honestly, New York, New York, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
We don't even have to run. We don't even have to hide. 'Cause we got everything we need right here inside.
3,000 miles west, brothers Matt and Nick Jackson are not only EVPs of All Elite Wrestling.
This is my life now. This is your life now. AEW, this is what we do.
Everyone now depends on us to answer questions instead of just being wrestlers. You know, we're answering everything, you know what I mean? Everyone's got a question and we have to have the answers for it.
But they are simply known as the best tag team in the world today.
In my personal estimation, not just one of the top 5 tag teams today, but one of the top 5 tag teams of all time.
We confidently feel like we have been the best tag team in the world for the last 5 to 10 years. And to be honest, we've been just waiting for someone to take that spot.
For the first time, like, I don't know if I could say with confidence that we're the best anymore. And is that our own doing? Because we helped, you know, put this tag team division together. Like, we scouted a lot of the guys and stuff. So, and for the first time ever, I'm going, man, like, geez.
Nobody that I've come across mixes such innovative offense and high risk more often than not, which is kind of tough to watch at times because it's so dangerous. Just amazing athleticism and timing.
Best tag team in the world, and that might be so. You best believe that spot is up for the taking. But guess what? We're doing what we always do. Coming to get our food. We are hungry, and you have our spot.
In the projects in New York, this is no secret, they had a tough life, and then wrestling kind of gave them an opportunity to succeed.
I was 14 years old at the time, and I remember a shootout occurring while we were out going to the store, and a 14-year-old kid having to throw his sister on the floor and having to guard her. That's not something that, you know, you see or hear every day, but that was my reality. That's what I had to go through. That's what I had to survive.
Santana and Ortiz.
We still don't know, like, what's going on? Well, right now what's going on is it looks like Nick Jackson is going to be another victim. Santana and Ortiz!
They were the hottest free agent tag team in all of professional wrestling.
Santana and Ortiz have just decimated the amazing Young Bucks who went through hell just moments ago.
And for Chris Jericho to get that done behind everybody's back, to surprise everybody and have Santana and Ortiz appear at All Out, it's crazy, and it just goes to show what a great mind Chris Jericho has for professional wrestling.
Anybody who was anybody was after us, and what a feeling that was, holding all these different offers from all these different places.
Pro wrestling is all about opportunities and what one makes of those opportunities. Are you prepared for those opportunities? Are you prepared to do whatever it takes to accomplish your goal?
For them to come and attack us like that, it got our attention right away.
The question that every single person wants answered: why the Young Bucks? We got mad respect for y'all. I'm gonna be straight up and real. Mad respect for y'all. But there's one thing, to me, that y'all lack: heart.
The Young Bucks have defined tag team wrestling for nearly 2 decades.
Our dad built us our own custom ring in our backyard because we come from humble beginnings and they couldn't afford to put us through college. So that was our college. Yeah. was him saying, okay, I'm gonna invest in you guys. You guys, you know, you're interested in this thing, so let me at least help you however way I can.
You boys had your pops build you a ring in your backyard. You boys had all these people support y'all. Nah, we did it on our own.
We were backyard wrestlers 20 years ago. It feels like we're living what we did and dreamed of what we were doing back then, and now we're doing it now.
And they are no strangers to the pressure of a pay-per-view event like Full Gear.
For the first time in a very, very long time, maybe we're not at the very, very top of the tag division. And is it worrisome to me? A little bit. Is it humbling? A lot.
The Young Bucks have had some setbacks. That's been clear. They lost to the Lucha Brothers at All Out. They lost to Private Party at the first round of the AEW World Tag Team Championship title tournament. It just so happened that they've been on a bad run. But I think this bad run has kind of rekindled a fire in their bellies. Unfortunately for Santana and Ortiz, I think the Young Bucks are going to make an example of them.
We learned a long time ago, you need to take what's yours, because ain't nobody gonna hand it to you. And we took it. That's why we showed up the way we did. That's why we came to All Elite Wrestling.
They want to beat the crap out of Nick and Matt Jackson.
It's amazing.
And the Young Bucks, you're in our way.
Since joining the Inner Circle, Proud and Powerful has made it clear that they are willing to do whatever it takes when they step into that ring.
Look at these two psychos beside me right here, Santana and Ortiz. You might have seen them around, but I'll tell you what, they're dirtier than they've ever been. They're nastier than they've ever been. I personally recruited them to AEW, and they are ready to fight. They're angry. They're pit bulls among pit bulls. They're Street Fighter back alley brutes, and I like it.
A unit of like-minded individuals.
No! God almighty, why did you do that?
Stay the good family men, because you ain't ready for what's about to come.
Where's the doctor? Oh, look at this. That's Ortiz.
Not again.
Piece of trash. Get that garbage out of here.
After what they did to the Rock and Roll Express, and now
cheap-shotting the Young Bucks.
that's all it's been tonight is cheap shots.
Having Chris Jericho's influence and leadership, the champion, whatever you want to say, is nothing but a great thing for the two young kids. Santana and Ortiz are getting an education and going to PhD class from the doctor.
Will Santana and Ortiz be able to deliver on arguably the biggest stage of their careers?
To say that dreams and aspirations don't come true is pure bullshit. We're living proof of that every single day that we wake up.
I think this is going to be a fight, but I think it's a fight that the Young Bucks are going to win.
It's very possible that Santana and Ortiz could, at the end of the day, end up being the better team. I know that won't make Young Bucks fans happy, but there's always somebody down the road that can beat you. Whether Santana and Ortiz prove that at Full Gear, I don't know.
Or will the Young Bucks show the world that they are still the best tag team in professional wrestling?
Nobody has stayed relevant in tag wrestling as long as we have. We're a special tag team, and I guess we're just gonna have to prove it.
Santana, Ortiz, Young Bucks, yeah, I like to say y'all the best. The best is yet to come, because y'all gonna have to feel it. And I say that with the biggest smile on my face, because I mean it with all of my life. This is real.
This is the AEW Control Center. Tony Schiavone and Dasha Gonzalez. In the buy-in, it will be Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, getting her shot at revenge, going one-on-one against B. Priestley.
That's right, the self-proclaimed chairman of AEW, Shawn Spears, along with the legendary Tully Blanchard, will meet the bad boy, Joey Janela.
And for the AEW World Tag Team Championship, the champions Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian. SCU will defend against the Lucha Brothers, and as we found out during Dynamite, Private Party. Rio will defend the AEW Women's Championship against Japanese legend Sakura.
Will the ring be big enough to hold this one? Jon Moxley will face Kenny Omega in a lights-out match.
The rubber match between these two men, Hangman Adam Page squares off against the Bastard Pack.
In tag team action, the Young Bucks will meet Santana and Ortiz of the Inner Circle.
And for the AEW World Championship, the champion Chris Jericho will defend against Cody the American Nightmare. In addition, we'll have 3 championship caliber judges at ringside to rule on the match in case it goes to the 60-minute time limit. If you want to join us live in Baltimore, get your tickets at AEWTix.com. It's also available on pay-per-view in the United States on BR Live, In Demand, DirecTV, and on all other pay-per-view providers. Also available on ITV box office in the UK and Ireland, and on Fight.tv internationally.
For more than 50 years, Las Vegas has been the fight capital of the world. It's home to some of the world's wildest entertainers, including All Elite Wrestling's most unpredictable star, Jon Moxley. When Moxley arrived in AEW earlier this year, he emphatically staked his claim as one of the sport's most dominant stars. A tornado of hype followed him wherever he would go. But just before his biggest moment, when Jon was set to headline the all-out pay-per-view against Kenny Omega, a returning ailment forced him to the sidelines.
Yes, I tore my tricep in 2017 and continued wrestling with a giant inflated arm for about 2 months every single night, and I was getting it drained about X amount of cc's of fluid out of my elbow every single night just so I could bend it and just get to the ring, and it took its toll, and I never took a break and never let up, and I picked up a staph infection that became MRSA, MRSA.
So MRSA, again, flesh-eating bacteria, if you will, it got into his bursal sac, so basically that fluid-filled sac, but it could have got into the joint. It actually could have got into his bloodstream. He could have got septic, and I mean, he could have shut down his kidneys. He could have died.
You know, I had so much momentum ever since Double or Nothing. It was just one good thing after another after another. I was on top of the world, and then it all just came crashing down real fast. And that's how this business is. It's like something from 2 years ago coming back to still bite me in the ass. I couldn't make any sense of it, and it just sucked.
Originally, what we wanted to do with John was rebuild him. He had so many days on the road before, he had taken so many injuries and so many bad bumps, we had to rebuild him from the ground up. Joint mobility, stability, endurance training, rebuilding some good muscle on top of his frame. After that, we wanted to make sure that he was durable enough, fast enough, strong enough to be able to do everything that he wanted to do inside the ring. John's got a very aggressive, very violent style. I wanted to make sure that his body can stand up to the rigors of whatever he's doing in the ring. That's it. One more time, stick that landing. Like for a guy his size, I've rolled around with guys about his size, light heavyweights and heavyweights, mixed martial artists. He's got a lot of strength on that frame, man. Even before we started working together, he was a very, very powerful individual.
Japan, a country that couldn't be farther, culturally speaking, from the United States. It's a place where compliance and conformity are among the highest of virtues. But within the controlled silence of the Japanese people is a furious determination and a work ethic that rivals any in the world. Long inspired by that work ethic is All Elite Wrestling star Kenny Omega, who for many years made Japan his home. To this day, he returns for refreshment, for inspiration, and for passion.
I suppose I was always intrigued by the way the fans would react to a wrestling match. It really felt that, you know, they were really paying attention and that every detail, they cared about it. And they hung on to every last emotion. And it all built to a gigantic crescendo in the end. That's when they come unglued. And that's when they start, you know, stomping their feet. And that's when the building starts to rumble and shake. It takes a life of its own. The building itself, the match, kind of becomes this growing mass, and the building itself becomes part of this attraction. It just was something that I never understood, and I wanted to be a part of, and I wanted to experience it for myself. People wonder, you know, why is it that I can have great singles, great tag matches, great six-man tags? Why am I so good at comedy? It's because of this place.
South Philadelphia has long been a trendsetter in cuisine, culture, and sports. It's a town of strong opinions, where fans are thrilled to debate what they love and what they hate. On the corner of Swanson and Rittner in South Philly, in a building that once served as a bingo hall, an unlikely wrestling revolution was born in the 90s and early 2000s. Some of the sport's hardest competitors were forged here through brutal competition in front of an unforgiving crowd.
Hatred just hit, and John Moxley is the only man standing right now.
Walk around and talk. He's got a new paint job. Looks nice. Yeah, I love this building, man. I miss this building. This building, you sink or swim, you kill or be killed.
Moxley. Oh, stop! Get out of the man! Oh, good God!
You know, so much of this building, what went on in here, transformations that happened inside me in this building, just define so much of who I am, what I became, who I still am.
To the floor! Get him off that buckle! No good can come of that!
Oh, man, this feels good. That humidity in the air, that smell, blood, sweat, violence. I remember right about here getting punched in the face so hard and I was already bleeding, that like a cloud of blood just poofed out onto the audience right over here.
Said blow!
Some of the greatest victories in this building is victory over yourself, victory over how far you're willing to push your body, victory over what fears, what concerns you're willing to go up against, what kind of risks you're willing to take. Yeah, at the end of the day, when you stand victorious, it's that's the feeling, man. That's it.
Perhaps one of the only buildings in the world that can boast a wrestling history as rich as the 2300 Arena in South Philadelphia is Tokyo's Sumo Hall. Yearly, Japan's biggest sumo tournaments are held and televised from here. It also plays host to a wide variety of professional wrestling events.
He talks about the ECW arena and the time of CCW. Yeah, okay, so what? He fell through some light tubes. I mean, you talk about Korakuen Hall, you talk about Budokan, you talk about Tokyo Dome. It's like, these are the places where, you know, I would look at records that my dad would have, and it would be like Michael Jackson live from Budokan or whatever. There'd be these almost like old wives' tales of arenas that you'd never see. You could select them in a video game, and you'd be able to see them that way or on videotape, but you never thought that you'd step foot in one of these arenas. And I've main evented all of them. I've sold out all of them. And even though I'm nothing like you, John, I'm willing to go to that place. I'm willing to go to that dark place.
It's a bad idea because I don't think Kenny Omega has that place inside of him. He's trying to get there. He's trying real hard to get there, and I hope he does.
You want unsanctioned? They want unsanctioned, huh? I'm unsanctionable.
Don't pretend that you're upset about this being a hardcore match. What else were you gonna do? Were you gonna chain wrestle with me, John? Huh? Give me suplexes? It wasn't gonna happen. Deep down inside, I know that you're happy. I know that you're satisfied.
Now I'm at my best when I am at my worst. And I'm not trying to find an opponent who's gonna bring the best out of me. I'm trying to find an opponent who's gonna bring the worst out of me.
Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley is now an unsanctioned match.
Don't pretend that you're upset about this being a hardcore match. What else were you gonna do? Were you gonna chain wrestle with me, John? Huh?
I know what's going on here. See, AEW wants to treat me like some kind of freak. They want to treat me like some kind of outsider. They want to try and put me in my little box over here so I don't cause any trouble. I know what's going on. I've been dealing with this my whole life. I am the baddest son of a bitch in this game. I am the sickest son of a bitch in this game.
real person I owe a thank you to is Moxley. My best work has never been because I was handed something. It was always because I had to work for something, because I had to sacrifice something.
Now I'm at my best when I am at my worst. And I'm not trying to find an opponent who's gonna bring the best out of me. I'm trying to find an opponent who's gonna bring the worst out of me.
Oh my! Oh! Dangerous situation. Oh!
I'm unexceptionable. I'm out of control. You think I'm out of control? You ain't seen nothing yet.
I'm glad we're going to that dark place, John. I can't wait to see you there.
As the world witnesses a new era in professional wrestling, there may not be a more pivotal match than the battle for the AEW World Championship title on Saturday, November 9th at Full Gear. For one, it means further proving he is the greatest of all time and is still in the prime of his illustrious career.
I am Chris Jericho, and I am le champion of AEW.
For the other, a symbol of hope for the wrestling world, the weight resting upon Cody's shoulders is immense.
You hear the chants of Cody. He has this connection with the fans that is very rarely seen in pro wrestling.
He has resonated with this crowd, and not just this crowd, but around the world.
With victories over his brother Dustin Rhodes, Shawn Spears, and Sammy Guevara, he's earned his title shot.
Cody, he has pro wrestling in his blood. He is ready to give every single drop of it to these people here tonight.
People have made an emotional investment in Cody, and Jericho's made sure they've made an emotional investment in him.
The reigning AEW World Champion came into the company as their biggest star.
I'm Chris Jericho, and I am all in with All Elite Wrestling!
And he's made it no secret that he's taking the lion's share of the credit for their success.
It's a very exciting time for All Elite Wrestling after selling out Double or Nothing in just 4 minutes. 12,000 tickets sold at the MGM Grand in just 4 minutes. It's unprecedented. And everybody is so excited. Cody and the Bucks are saying, we did it. But is that really the truth, huh? Really, honestly? Or is the more accurate description, I did it? As in Chris Jericho single-handedly sold 12,000 tickets in 4 minutes, because that is the truth.
Jericho's self-confidence is warranted, however. He has quickly found his place at the top in AEW, and he surrounded himself with a stable of allies that threatened the stability of the company.
No matter who thinks they're in charge around here, we're in charge now.
His inner circle has wreaked havoc at nearly every AEW event, and we will find out if this distraction is all part of Jericho's plan, or if it has only served to fuel Cody's determination to become the next AEW World Champion.
Chris Jericho, what does he mean to professional wrestling? That's a stupid question. Chris Jericho is professional wrestling.
He's been around this industry for over 29 years, and he has been at the top of this industry for a very large portion of that.
The very first person to hold 2 world titles, someone that...
He beat Rock and Austin in the same night.
Someone that you could look at and be like, yo, this is the dude that I want as the face of my company. This is the dude that I want to travel the world carrying the company on his back.
Jericho's got a magnificently enhanced ego. And he likes it that way. He feeds his own skill set by his ego.
Chris Jericho is in this for the long haul, and he's here to prove that he's here for the long haul, that he has the physicality, the intensity, the stamina, and the fortitude to be a force in professional wrestling for years to come.
What a shot by Jericho. That's got to be it. And it is it. Chris Jericho is the first ever AEW World Champion.
Cody on November 9th at Full Gear when you challenge Le Champion for the AEW Championship. You know what's going to happen to you? I'm going to beat the ever-living out of you.
Quite frankly, nobody in wrestling, in any company, has had more of an influence and made more headlines in the last couple of years than Chris Jericho.
We're his legacy.
Yeah.
Where we're directly inspired by the man. We literally bonded over his first book.
Mirrored our careers over what he did and his path to getting to where he's gotten.
He is AEW. This place is nothing without that man. So him being the AEW World Champion just justifies everything he's always said.
As an executive vice president of AEW, as well as one of the company's top performers, some have questioned his ability to prepare for a match against someone like Chris Jericho.
Cody's in a unique spot right now. We've got this great job helping build AEW. Let's not forget he's a wrestler. He's first a wrestler. My point is, it's not Cody's physical abilities, yay or nay, that concern me. None at all. He's an amazing athlete. Maybe the best pure athlete in the entire AEW roster, in the eyes of many, including mine. But I'm worried about his head.
There's not any part of me that's going to be in the ring that's an EVP. Every part of me is a kid with a chip on his shoulder who probably wanted to beat this guy 10 years ago and thought he could.
My husband Cody is the single most passionate person I've ever met. As soon as Cody told me that he was going to challenge Jericho for the title, I knew we were just going to lose him for this period of time.
I know Cody since he was 12 years old. And he was as driven back then as he is right now.
He drove himself athletically, academically, to do the best he could in whatever he was interested in at the time.
He is the face of this company. However, he's not the champion. And I know for a fact that that's something that bothers him because he wants to show to the world that him leaving the other place was not a mistake.
He never saw himself as a mid-card player. He has always seen himself as a top guy. Not only is a top guy, that he can also help carry a promotion. And that's what's happening right now.
He's not just a guy who has a great family legacy and a guy who's an EVP of a major company in pro wrestling. He is a great professional wrestler. He's talented in the ring. And that's why he deserves this title shot, and that's why he's getting it.
It makes it harder when you're somebody's son.
If you just go on athletics and physicality and youth and strength, Cody's your favorite. Father Time doesn't do any favors for anybody. And Jericho is, Father Time is kind of nipping his heels.
Cody's already done so many things that are literally unprecedented in this business. But in the words of the American dream, there's only one thing real in this business, and that's that first World Championship title. Until you get it, there's always something missing, no matter what you've accomplished.
This is literally everything. I can't stress that enough. This means everything to Cody.
Winning that championship belt, it would be the pinnacle of his career.
My advice to Cody is just don't do it. Just give up. It's all said and done. You're not gonna win.
He needs this. This is absolutely everything to him. He won't rest until he beats Chris Jericho.
Team Cody in the inner circle. are about to square off in the stands here in Pittsburgh. What he just punched in the glass, and man, it's on now. The fight is on now. Rhodes and Jericho. Rhodes and Jericho, the challenger, the champion. Oh, the inner circle. I've just gotten a little taste of revenge. Look at Jericho's face.
When Chris Jericho gets to Baltimore, he has to prepare to wrestle one match. When Cody gets to Baltimore, he's probably already had several meetings leading into the day, probably several meetings that day, while Chris Jericho's thinking about one thing: defending his title and stomping the legacy of the family Rhodes and of Cody specifically.
We are here and we are ready to sign the contract for the AEW World Championship bout between the champion Chris Jericho and the challenger, the American Nightmare, Cody.
Is this thing on?
Hager's still low blow. What do you know? Those arms. No. Oh, God almighty, what the hell else?
On Saturday, November 9th, the AEW World Champion will be crowned in what is sure to be a match for the ages. History will be made.